Well, everybody, it's the Front, and we're here for AEW Grand Slam Review Night 1 for September the 21st, 2022. We are on our road to, well, I guess the next thing would be Full Gear, as that is the very next pay-per-view coming up in a month and a half time, I believe. I believe it's middle of next November, but yes, we got ourselves one hell of a show tonight. 5 championship matches. One big surprise when it comes to championship title changes. One that should have happened at All Out but happened tonight. And a former Divas champion makes her AEW debut tonight. And we find out who is your AEW World Champion. The man who will lose the championship one of these days, maybe in November, maybe not, to MJF. Would it be Bryan Danielson? Which I did not know this until somebody pointed this out, that two previous times that CM Punk has left the company, aka when he left Ring of Honor to go to WWE, and when he left WWE to go to obscurity for 7 years, Bryan Danielson won the world title for that company right after the fact. Now, CM Punk, no one knows if CM Punk is going to be still here or not later down the line. But this could have been a chance. Tonight could be a chance for him to make it a three-peat on that. Did he? We'll find out later. We start off with Claudio Castagnoli versus Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship. Now, the ending of this match was very shocking. If you don't know what I mean, then you didn't watch the show. So they have themselves this match here. And Claudio looked fantastic. Jericho is on a career renaissance on just having great fucking matches. His match with Bryan Danielson last week. His match with Bryan Danielson at the pay-per-view. Just his match with him and Jon Moxley for the world title, the interim world title at the time. His matches with Eddie Kingston were pretty good too. This Jericho Appreciation Society stuff with Jericho is just doing well. And Claudio is awesome as well. Hits the swing and does 25 on that before he puts him in a sharpshooter. Ian Riccaboni was on commentary, which makes me hope that he is still doing Dark Elevation tapings for AEW, which would be fantastic because the dude, it's you don't need to have Excalibur on every fucking show, so give some of the legwork to Ian Riccaboni, which would be fantastic. Anyway, so go back and forth. The match is really good. Aubrey gets pinned in the corner. And before she can recover, Jericho hits the low blow, hits the Judas effect, 1, 2, 3. And Chris Jericho is your new Ring of Honor World Champion, ending Claudio Castagnoli's title reign at 60 days. Now, people are wondering, why? Why would you give Chris Jericho this title run? Why would you put Chris Jericho and give him the Ring of Honor World Championship? There's only one reason you would do this. Only one. Getting TV time soon. Hopefully within the next week or so, Ring of Honor is getting put on TBS, TNT. I don't care if it's at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday. I don't care. I'll watch Ring of Honor because I ain't got nothing else to fucking do at that time mostly, unless I'm streaming on Twitch, which we're not gonna get into that. So, having Chris Jericho be the Ring of Honor World Champion instead of Claudio Castagnoli going into TV makes the most sense. I mean, they crowned Chris Jericho the first ever AEW World Champion for a reason. He helped launch AEW on Wednesday nights on TNT as World Champion. Maybe, just maybe, Tuesday night for Ring of Honor, or I don't think Thursday's going to happen because Tony Khan doesn't want to do Thursdays. He's kind of hamstrung with either Tuesday or Saturdays. Because no one's going to put a wrestling show on Sundays. That's stupid. But either Tuesdays or Saturdays, because he doesn't want to do Thursdays and doesn't want to do Mondays, and Fridays is taken up by Rampage. So, the only reason this makes any possible sense is that they are getting a TV deal very, very soon, and Chris Jericho versus Claudio Castagnoli could be your Ring of Honor feud going into the next Ring of Honor pay-per-view, with TV being where they have everything going on between them, promos, matches with the JAS versus Claudio and the Blackpool Combat Club, and all that. The rest of the society comes out and celebrates. Daniel Garcia comes out walking last, and you can just tell he doesn't want to be here. He has that very Like, what the fuck, dude? You were so good. You don't have to cheat to win. I didn't have to cheat to win my title. Why are you? He puts his hands up and gives him like a very. There's thunder going on. I am sorry if you hear that. He gives him a very weak high five. So you definitely know that he's gonna be on the outs with him very, very soon. Moving on to the next title match, we had 5 title matches, so we had to just get through most of them. Swerve and Our Glory versus The Acclaimed for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It was good. It was nowhere close. Like, we had new tag team champions, obviously. That was the obvious route they were going with this. There was no other reason to give The Acclaimed a second title shot unless you were giving them the tag titles. It just never hit the heights that it did in Chicago. That was a special night. That night you should have called an audible. Could have had the Acclaim win that match. Could have had a rematch tonight with the Acclaim retaining and get that big moment in Chicago where it honestly felt like that was you get very few times you get that strike while the iron is hot, lightning in a bottle type moments. And both times on that same weekend we had 2 of those. One at Clash at the Castle that was missed, and one at All Out that was missed as well, with these 2 things going on. We're not going to talk about Clash at the Castle, that was neither here nor there. But it was great to see them win, and the fact that they won with the help of Billy Gunn took away from it a little bit too, in my opinion. It's just, the referee's distracted, Billy Gunn hits a famouser, they hit their double team combo stuff, and that was it on Swerve. And I'm thinking, the crowd popped. It was great. The Acclaimed are wow over. It's awesome to see the Acclaimed getting this title win tonight. For the simple fact is, these dudes started off as jobbers on Dark. Dark Elevation wasn't even existent yet. They were in the pandemic era in Jacksonville. Wrestling is just being jobbers. Homegrown talent. Yes, there was the past of Max Caster being one of Bobby Lashley's sisters in that awful segment all those years ago. But to come here, be paired together because Tony Khan thought they would work well together. Going through the ranks, the injuries for Anthony Bowens, Max Caster being suspended for that awful Duke Lacrosse, Simone Biles rap that got him in hot water by everybody. This was fantastic. Just the rise of the Acclaim to get them to this moment. They have to win because of the famouser. Caster connects with the mic drop on the inside after Bowens hits a scoop slam, I think, or some kind of scoop slam. 1, 2, 3. They pick up the win. No heel turn yet. No heel turn on Keith Lee by Swerve. But man, the crowd booed the shit out of Swerve. There was a moment in the middle of the match that they were going to go for the scissor me. Swerve tags in and kicks both of these guys super hard, so much so. The crowd boos them, and Keith Lee's like, man, he didn't have to do that. Keith Lee was bothered by the fact that he did that. Wow. What a great thing to do. So, championships go to the Acclaimed. It was a great moment. It didn't have that oomph that it did. It would have hit so much harder. In Chicago, calling that audible, having them win, getting the rematch at Grand Slam, they still win, and you still have a big pop. It's just that moment wasn't there as much as it should have been, in my opinion. After the match, we see FTR backstage congratulating the champs, but here comes. They want their title shot. They've been number 1 contenders since April. Gun Club appear and start mocking them about not being on TV lately. Obviously, it's going to be Gun Club versus FTR very, very soon, and Gun Club are going to batter them. Batter them again. Wheeler Yuta's out here with Tony Schiavone before we can immediately discuss anything about the main event and what he's out here for. Everyone's favorite devil, and all of his devil worshippers out there cheering for him. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. He calls the fans who love him his loyal devil worshippers before labeling Schiavone a fat old prick. He says Yuta won't even receive a reaction like that because he is mid. It's kind of dumb to say that because, if I'm correct, when John Moxley took on Wheeler Yuta, when they were getting him into the Blackpool Combat Club and initiating him in, Wheeler Yuta got some of the biggest pops in the fucking company while MJF, I believe, was either gone or was leaving. But also because he's a god and there isn't a man in this arena who will let him sleep with their wives. He claims to be a generational talent, but Yuta admits that he has had some troops and says, calling him the king of the low-hanging fruit, and he teases taking a shot about his engagement. He opts not to because he's not going to ever go that low. He says his fiancée is maybe a little too smart, and perhaps she knows that he is a spineless, worthless piece of human garbage. No, that's the faker, but Baker. We're not going to get into that right now. And she will walk out on him like he did to them in the crowd. He mocks Yuta personally and says that he is here to wish the members of the Blackpool Cuckold Club. Ha ha ha. Good luck for the main event. He believes they're fighting to lose to MJF, not because the world champion, become the world champion. He says Yuta could ask Danielson for advice how to become injury prone and make your head send your brain into scrambled eggs. Can't ask John Moxley for any advice, and he could ask William Regal about popping pills, which leads to Yuta, who's rolling up his sleeves to slap MJF. MJF gives him a nice big old headbutt to the head, and then he takes Tony Schiavone and shoves him to the ground and tells him never to fucking touch him. Yuta fights back. MJF, he's dominating him until W. Morrissey appears and starts choking out Wheeler Yuta. MJF nails him with the Dynamite Diamond Ring and knocks, and that is that. It was a good segment here. I mean, MJF is super over. W. Morrissey helping him out, so the firm only comes when they're needed by MJF. This is going to probably lead to a match between Wheeler Yuta and MJF probably next week or the week after or something, which I'm fine with. That'll be fine. Give MJF and his devil worshippers MJF in the ring, and it gives Wheeler Yuta pretty much a big match for him. He's going to lose, obviously, but a big match. In backstage pre-tape with Jay Cargill, the baddies, and Diamante, it's revealed that Trina is going to be in the corner of Diamante. Who the fuck is Trina? I don't have a fucking clue, nor do I care. Let's get this shit over with. The TBS Women's title match on Friday is absolutely pointless because nobody expects Jay Cargill to lose to somebody like Diamante, who's been a dark VIP for 3 years. Orange Cassidy versus Pac. Orange Cassidy comes out, does the whole glasses thing, instead of giving it to the ref, tosses them at Pac. This was a fun match. Pac, of course, doing all he can to beat up on Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy, of course, getting under the skin of Pac. He even did the kicks and his his feint kicks. Pac is like, just bring him on, bring him on, bring him on. He goes to go back, and instead of hitting him with another one or a super kick, hits him with a shotgun drop kick, and Pac just responds with his own. So the whole thing about this is that Pac wants to put him away, but Orange Cassidy continues to frustrate him to no end. So much so that Pac, at the end of the match, goes over to where the belts are, gets his hand on the ring bell hammer, grabs Orange Cassidy, gets his body into a position where the ref cannot see what Pac has, and he just nails him with the hammer, puts it back, makes it like, I didn't do anything, I hit him with an elbow. Gets him in the ring, 1, 2, 3, and the bastard Pac lives up to his name of being a bastard and beats Cassidy. And that's all there is to it. Time for the piss break match. Tony Storm versus Athena versus Scenery D versus Dr. Fit. I'm sorry. A steaming pile of shit known as the Golden Dentist. I really didn't care about this match. I had to go to the bathroom. Don't really care. So, other than the fact that Athena comes out with a skull of a crow on her head, I think, or a buzzard skull on her head, and fucking Excalibur is like she's trying to channel Cubone. Excalibur. No, that was a skull of a buzzard. Come on. All I know is Storm Pete the steaming pile of shit. By rolling her up and retaining the title. Good on her. And then, of course, the heels beat up on everyone. And then Jamie Hayter comes down and everyone's like, oh yeah, Jamie Hayter. Who then just teams back up with the Faker and is as if no, like, bygones are bygones and they're back to being best buddies. So that and Serena D beat up everybody until some music hits. And the music plays. And Saraya Knight is all elite. The former Paige, I fucking swear, since Triple H took over creative and took over everything, every fucking time Fightful, Wrestling Link, Wrestling Zone, or any of these fucking dirt sheets companies puts out a story that AEW or Triple H or WWE are in talks with this enter name here to have them come in and work for them, that person shows up that very fucking night. We had it with Killer Cross, Karrion Kross. We had it with Shit Row. We had it with Dexter Lumis. We've had it now with Saraya. Every fucking time we hear a report that on the day of a show that somebody is like Karrion Kross is going to be is being talked about making a return to WWE. Boom, shows up. Shit Row coming back to WWE. Boom, showed up that very night. Dexter Lumis talks about he's possibly coming back. Boom, he's back too. Saraya there's talk of Saraya and WWE and AEW wanting her services, and boom, she shows up on Grand Slam. So people might not like the dirt sheets, but recently, if they say that AEW or WWE is in talks with somebody to be coming back to the show and making their debut in AEW, you might want to pay attention to that show, because it's like 4 times out of 4 they have been dead on with that person making their debut or return that fucking night. So that's all I gotta say. So if we go to Friday and there's talks of Bray Wyatt possibly returning or somebody else making their debut on television, pay attention to Friday, because that means somebody's going to probably be there. This is good. I don't know what they're going to be doing with Saraya. Last I checked, she couldn't wrestle. She said her neck is good, but how good is that? I mean, yeah, Edge returned after 11 years of a neck injury. I know science has advanced so much, but if Saraya can wrestle, you better fucking do something with her. The Golden Dentist can go work on Dark and Dark Elevation like Hikaru Shida and Serena Deeb have. Let other women have a shot. She doesn't need to be a factor anymore. You already fucking blew your load on the fucking Jamie Hayter split, because it's like, oh, no, everything's back to normal. Everything's good. They're all kumbaya again. No other problems. No Jamie Hayter turning babyface. No Jamie Hayter splitting away from her. No Jamie Hayter realizing that she's holding her back and she's back from greatness. All that speculation and rumor stuff all just thrown out the window. Why? Because Tony Khan doesn't give a shit about the women's division. You bring Saraya in, and if Saraya can fucking work, you let her fucking work, and you actually do something fucking with her. I said it last week. I'll say it again. The Golden Dentist needs to leave. The women deserve fucking better. And this, if she can work, great. If she can't, I don't know what you're bringing her in for. We'll have to wait and see. Main event, Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson, AEW World Championship. MJF got a nice luxury box seat to watch this with his good old poker chip. Okay. So that right there told there were people like, looks like MJF's probably going to cash in tonight. Nope. I mean, they kind of threw that away when you had MJF in his suit with the poker chip up above. These two beat the living fuck out of each other. I can't do this match justice. This match was fantastic. These guys went out there, they beat the shit out of each other, move after move, hold after hold, they legit hit each other hard as hell. Great match. Jon Moxley is a 3-time AEW World Champion. He will hold on to that championship until they deem it fit for MJF to take the title off of him. Now, I am a little pissed off about AEW having to go away, because William Regal went to go put the title around Jon Moxley's waist, and he was expecting that. Bryan Danielson ripped it away and we didn't get to see anything else because they fade to black. Hopefully they put that on YouTube here in a moment. Overall, AEW Grand Slam, because I have the ability to watch, because of me, I'm not going to get into it. I have the ability to watch, in the States, I have the ability to watch the ad-free, the commercial-free feed, so I get to watch all these matches. This felt like a fucking pay-per-view. This felt like a mini pay-per-view. Rampage is not going to get to feel like that because it has commercials still, because I don't have a way to get that feed like that. But this was great. This is what AEW, they needed this shot in the fucking arm. This felt like AEW we fell in love with, we loved, and we cared about. This was great. Somebody like, oh, Dave Meltzer, is AEW going to be able to light this ship that they're on because they seem to be spiraling out of control? They did that 3 nights fucking later. This is awesome. This is great. The Bucks and Kenny and CM Punk can all go. AEW had their first $1 million gate on a TV show gate. Bucks without Kenny, without CM Punk. Obviously, the ticket sales went up from wherever they were last year to about 70, 80 a pop. So yeah, AEW is firing on all cylinders. We got no garbage, no nothing, no fluff. The show went on, and it was great. Tony Khan can, if the ratings come in over 1 million, like higher than last week, Tony Khan can look at the Bucks, Kenny Omega, and CM Punk and be like, yeah, we can let you go. We can let all of you go because we don't need you. AEW survived. They proved it over the last 3 fucking weeks. They could be suspended for a year, and AEW will survive. AEW is doing great stuff. I can't wait to see where we go now. Where does Jon Moxley and MJF go from here? MJF's, of course, picking on Wheeler Yuta, so it's going to be Wheeler Yuta getting some, like, going after him, trying to get revenge for what happened this week. So that'll be something to look forward to. We got no matches announced for next week. Only what's going on Friday, which is 8 matches in 2 hours. Not a big fan of that. Just give us the same 5 matches that you had tonight, and we'll be good. But that is all for your AEW review, Grand Slam review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. I'd like to thank everybody who's been checking out my videos, whether it's a second or two. Thank you all. Hit that sub button if you're new. Find me on Twitch.tv/The France Club, and find me on Minds at The France Club, and I'll see you guys on Friday for SmackDown. And Rampage will be on Saturday. It's a 2-hour episode of Rampage, so I'm going to sit down and watch it and review it on Saturday. It deserves its own day. We're going to do that. Until then, my name is France, and I'll see you guys later.